an interesting challenge with this daily drawing exercise, and one I think which will push us to explore more possibilities in making our marks, is to do a quick gestural drawing of this box of desktop bits and pieces. What do you call it? A desk caddy? I don't know. But we have a couple of pairs of scissors, some pencils, a pen, a screwdriver. So how do we draw objects such as this with pen and do it in a fairly brisk and gestural way? And what I'm particularly wanting to do is, with this time limitation, capture the feel of the objects, capture something of the light, of the shadow. So we're going to need to do some hatching, we're going to need to do some line work to indicate value, but we have to keep it quick and brisk because we also want to keep those quick gestural lines. This is an exercise in capturing the effect of what we're seeing. But we still want enough precision that our objects look as though they are what they are, particularly the screwdriver and, most importantly, the two pairs of scissors, which have some challenges just because of their ovals and curves and the irregularity of their shape. But I start with the box, and I ummed and ahed for quite some time how wide to take it to the left. It's probably gone just a little bit too far, but never mind. So I'm trying to capture the effect of the light and the local colour with this black handled screwdriver, and I'm peering hard to work out exactly what happens once the handle goes below the level of the box. So I am trying to keep it fairly quick. I'm establishing form though with my hatching, trying to reinforce the shape, the direction of the underlined form with the line work of the hatching. That didn't quite sit right, so I've changed the direction slightly. And of course it rests on the screwdriver part that we can't see. So what do we draw next? Well, I've decided to go with, I'm going to draw the things that are on the surface first so that I can then put things behind them. So this small blue handled pair of scissors goes next, and I draw the hand finger section a bit too enthusiastically, a bit too high. What I should have done was looked more carefully at how it related to the side of the box behind that I haven't drawn yet. Possibly because I haven't drawn it yet and I wasn't going to draw it till the end, it just diverted my attention from using that as a very probably accurate reference point. But never mind. If no one looks at my reference, they won't know how big these scissors were really meant to be anyway. And so now I'm paying far more attention to scissors than I ever have in my life. And I'm wanting to capture the three-dimensionality of these scissors. So I want to get the roundness, the curvatures of the various surfaces we have on a pair of scissors that reflect the light in certain ways and also catch shadows in certain directions. I'm feeling that's looking all a bit too messy, so I decide to run and do something else. Now, I'm trying to work out with this pencil exactly where it goes, because it's the next closest object. It goes behind the scissors and it's resting on the screwdriver. So I decide not to worry too much about hatching for this further down where it becomes in shadow, because I figure I'll do that when I'm establishing the very black, darkest, lowest points. And now I have another pencil that goes behind that, but in front of the screwdriver. This pencil is a triangular shaped pencil as opposed to the, I don't know, I guess hexagonal shaped other pencil. So I'm keeping all my lines light and gestural. This took me about 17 minutes, just over 15 minutes to draw. So I'm wanting consistency in the line work. So I don't want to get bogged down. So I don't want to get bogged down and get too precise and too exact in any one area, because I have established a fairly rough textured style at this point. So now I need to establish the size of this largest pair of scissors. And you can see I am clearly drawing this larger than my reference for a change. So looking at how I can reflect the three-dimensionality by doing some hatching for the edges inside the finger holder. And now we have the thumb holder. And they seem to line up happily with the pair of scissors I've drawn in front, so that's good. And now we have another short pencil, a stubby pencil that doesn't break the surface, so to speak, but we can see it from this angle that's down behind some of the other things. And so now I start to think about exactly what I need to do, and I'm looking at these angles, and I do a shocker there. What I should have done was visualized the point where they're going to join up. Even though we don't see it because it's behind this pair of scissors, I should have visualized their intersection, and that would have helped me guide my line work to the right place. However, it does remind me to finish this pair of scissors first, and again I'm trying to keep it line work wise in the same style as the other pair of scissors. So I'm keeping an eye on the clock. I'm trying to push myself, keep it brisk, keep it very sketchy, and have the whole thing have the same style of line work, and yet still capture something of the form, particularly the 3 dimensions. I had thought this could end up looking very flat and cartoony in a bad way if I wasn't careful to try and capture the roundness, the edges that we have here. We have very, very few sharp edges, sharp 90-degree edges. Even in the box, the edges are cloth covered, and so there's a certain roundedness to all of those edges as well. Possibly it's only in the edges of the blades of the scissors that we have a sharp edge, and well, we just don't see those. So now I'm establishing the darkest black areas where really my hatching is establishing a solid block of color, because then once I've got that established, I can work out how much hatching to do on the pencils to darken their shadows. And so yes, the one thing I'm really regretting are those 2 lines at the back. I just, of the box that go behind the implements in it, I just didn't quite catch those angles accurately enough. But never mind, you see that I've left on the left hand side a couple of lines just hanging in space because they don't need to be there. Fortunately, it's not a super obvious place though. So now I'm doing a bit of very rough loose hatching down the base of these implements where they're lower in the box and they're in the shade, trying to capture something of the roundness of them at the same time, but without becoming meticulous with lots of little parallel ellipses. So looking at this and then looking at my reference and trying to just check and work out what's happening. And then I decide that the shadow being cast is quite interesting because there's light sources coming from a few different directions. We have some intersecting light sources that cast different shadows, and some of them are and one of them is a stronger light source than the other, and so we have darker areas of shadow. So I thought I'll capture that and then we'll see how we go. So of course I'm going to post this on my channel community page if you'd like to have a go yourself. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. Look, a bit of a fun challenge, a different subject. It's good to push ourselves. I suggest that you keep it brisk and don't try and get too exact with outlines and edges, and just try and get the feel of all of these things. But look, whatever you draw and however you draw it, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.